A special thank you to our great sponsors: Jack Burford Chevrolet, State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goebel, Luxury Pets, Express Roofing, we've got you covered, Faith Created, Assembly of God Church, ScenicCabin.com, Equipment, Sales and Rentals, give Sean a call, Tatum Enterprises, Richmond Tourism, WKYT.com, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, First Gear, Pro Signs, Berea Online, and Rosenbaum Communications.
Hey everyone, my name's Alex, and I want you to watch MadisonCountySchoolSports.com.
This program is sponsored by Cumberland Valley National Bank and Trust. Visit their new location in Berea.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County Schools Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter, or like us on Facebook, MCHS TV, and of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube.
Welcome to the Coach Mark Center Show. Hi, I'm Samantha Barker with Madison County School Sports Television. We want you to watch the Coach Mark Center Show.
We look forward to seeing you on Madison County School Sports Television.
This program is sponsored by Cumberland Valley National Bank and Trust. Visit their new location in Berea. Oh, there you go. You got time. Go right.
Welcome back to the Coach Mark Center Show. I'm Samantha Barford, here of course with Coach Mark Centers. He's the head coach of the Madison Central Indians football team, who had a victorious, let's just keep saying victorious victory against Woodford County this past Friday night. It's got to feel good, Coach.
Certainly, yeah. It always feels good to get a win, especially when you get a win and you know you can play better.
Yeah.
So as part of the continuous process of improvement, you know, we really want to focus on that side of things, and you know, we coaches don't get a ton of opportunity to enjoy the wins, but it's always nice to get that victory. It's a whole lot easier to correct the mistakes and things after a win.
Well, even at halftime when I interviewed you, you weren't extremely, I mean, you guys were in the lead, but you were still talking about some of the mental mistakes that your team was making in the first half, even though you were in the lead. So, like you said, you still got lots of improvements.
We do, and you know, thankfully we were able to overcome those things. If you look at the stat line, you know, it was another really high penalty night. You know, a couple of those we were doing some squib kicks and some things out of bounds, which are, you know, kind of those acceptable penalties. It's you know, it's kind of like debt. There's good debt and bad debt, and we want to like kind of eliminate our bad debt, and
well
so certainly the penalties are something. You know, the mental mistakes really have to improve for us to continue to get better, and as we get closer and closer to district competition and ultimately playoff competition, you know, you have to eliminate those mental mistakes if you want to have a shot.
Well, in case you missed it, the final score was 45-20. Let's just start right off with Miller.
Yes.
How exciting was that? 3 minutes in.
Yeah, Keenan is an outstanding athlete and is really growing into a threat on the offensive side of the football. You know, he's very well rounded. He's certainly well in the mix in our secondary as well as a defensive player. But you know, he seems to be becoming more and more comfortable with the ball in his hands. He's doing a nice job in our wide receiver rotation. And you know, Keenan along with Jabari, both of them sophomores, you know, last spring as freshmen, they were both in the top 20 in the state and in the largest classification in track and field. I believe it was the 100 and perhaps a couple of other events. You know, you know, being in the top 20 in the state as far as the fastest kids in the state at that early of an age last year, spring of their freshman year, is very exciting. And you know, Keenan and Jabari later on both used that speed very effectively and did a really nice job. Keenan took the screen pass there and was able to get upfield right away, exactly how we want him to do that, and then made great effort to get in the end zone for a first score.
Well, he said in the press that you know, you all practice that play a lot. He just said run with it.
That's right. Yeah.
He goes down the right and just he went with it.
Yeah, repetition is key, and that is something that we've repped a whole lot. You know, of course, I guess our kids would tell you there's a whole lot of things that we've repped a whole lot, but that's the only way we're going to get better is to try to keep plugging, keep doing what we do well, and it's nice, you know, again, you know, our whole goal is to put the kids in position to make plays, and he certainly made a big play.
So that got you out in the lead right off the bat, so that had to feel good, and then you went right into the second touchdown, which had to make you feel really good.
Yeah, Jabari breaking that long run, he's very explosive when he gets out in the open field, and that was you know, great to see him get an opportunity to break one loose. Hadn't played a whole lot of offense since he's been in high school, and so he's kind of getting back into the flow of things, and he certainly had the ball in his hands a lot when he was in middle school. But you know, he's getting back into that flow of you know, seeing things on offense and letting things develop and using his talents accordingly. And
has he said which you like better?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't ask.
Honestly,
you just tell him where to go.
Well, you know, that's the thing. Our guys knew. You know, that was one of the things that we established with our guys early on, was that, you know, everybody on the team's going to have an offensive and a defensive position, and you know, where you fit in best in the grand scheme of things is where you're going to play.
Right.
And they've all bought in very, very well to that, and you know, he's been an outstanding defender for us. He's played very, very well at the outside linebacker position. And so getting a few carries at running back are well deserved. And as we've mentioned before, we like our kids to know, you know, we tell them you may not see the ball very often, so when you get it, you better do something with it, and they're buying into it.
Yeah, I've got in my notes it was a 32-yard run. So that's pretty impressive.
Very good. Yep, he's capable of taking it the distance from a long way out. So hopefully he'll get a chance to lengthen that and get bigger gains later on.
Well, and then I was down there ready to interview you for halftime, and wham, what about the Harden score? That was fantastic. That was, I mean, to be right down there, I'm usually in the stands, so to be down there right in the center of it all, it was a great feeling.
Right, yeah, and he made a really good decision there. We called a pass play there to the right side, and they did a good job of taking away his first and second looks, and then you know, again, he was able to pull the ball down, make a really good decision. It opened up well for him because of the way that they were covering the pass, and we got a real key block on the side there to kind of open things up, and he was able to run it in right in front of his parents there, in front of one of those ace end zone tents. So I'm sure that was pretty cool for them too. But
I'm sure it was.
But it was a big touchdown because it lengthened you know, our lead there, and as it turned out, you know, Woodford County threatened pretty strong there to close out the half, and so that score was a very meaningful score.
Yeah, and then we want to talk about, I mean, your defense, because I believe it was Moorhead that went in right there before the halftime and knocked one loose.
Yeah, exactly. They had really done a nice job of executing their 2-minute offense and chunking the ball down the field pretty quickly there, and really, I think before our kids had time to realize it, you know, they were down there in scoring range, and you know, to be able to hold on and stop that score, because it was clearly, you know, it was going to be a touchdown for sure. Tristan made a great break on the play, and as opposed to really breaking on the ball, he realized that he had to break on the player and was able to, at just the right time, to bust that pass play up. And
he was quick.
Huge, yeah. And you know, and he and Hunter Hazelwood, both sophomores, are really coming along. Their development is really coming strong. Technique-wise, they're very, very good. They're very detail-oriented about learning their technique, and both of them being young players, they're really doing a good job. You know, perhaps there may be, you know, some better athletes on the team, but those guys technically are really, really sound, and it's making them a very good part of our defensive back rotation. Well,
you definitely had the momentum going into the half, so that had to be fantastic. I mean, because from the week before, you weren't there.
Right, and a good feeling, and of course, you know from our halftime conversation, I was concerned about the way that we were playing the game, and concerned about some of the mental mistakes and some of the things that we were seeing. And I talked to our guys after the game, and I have to be honest, it was weighing on my mind a little bit at halftime, but certainly after the game, the way the second half played out, our young men have to learn. There are plenty of opportunities in life to learn how to face adversity, and we all have to face adversity, and how you have to get tough, and you have to be strong, and you have to do all those things in facing adversity. Well, there also comes a point in time, hopefully, that you have to learn how to handle success. And I was really concerned about the way that we were handling winning that ball game. And, we have to make sure that we're playing the game right, whether we're up or down. And we have to make sure that we're handling ourselves with the proper character and pride and class that we expect our players to handle themselves in all situations. And when we're up, we need to win with class. And when we're down, we need to fight to get back and win with class, and handle ourselves appropriately. And I talked to our young men about that after the game, and it kind of explains, I guess, my comment in the paper a little bit. I really felt like that we played the game better against Murray than we did against Woodford, and so we want to make sure that we're playing the game the right way at all times. And I hesitate to use the word respecting the game, but I guess that's appropriate at this time. But more importantly, respecting ourselves and our opponents and playing the game the way it should be played. We have very high expectations for our young men. They've worked so hard, and we've got such good kids. They are really genuinely good kids, which was why the first thing that I said to the official later in the game, unfortunately Will Nash got ejected, and the referee said that he threw a punch, and I really felt like the film showed otherwise. And the first thing that I said to the officials, I really wish you knew this kid personally, because that is not in his character at all.
Okay.
And I thought the film clearly showed that he was digging after the football. The official felt a different way.
That he was throwing a punch.
And I thought that he was going after the football. And unfortunately, it is what it is. And Will, being the high character young man that he is, has handled it fantastically this week.
Did you talk to him specifically, set him down and say what happened?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've had a couple of individual conversations about it, and that's one thing that I knew right away. He is such a good young man. I knew he was going to handle it well, and he has handled it even better than I thought he would. It's an unfortunate situation that he's having to give up a game of his senior year.
Right.
But sometimes when
meaning he won't play this Friday night against Southern.
He'll have to sit this Friday night against Southern, and then that's a huge thing for him, having to give up one of his games of his senior year. But it's water under the bridge. It's lessons learned, and I feel like our young men are learning those lessons valuable every day, and that's something that we're trying to teach every single day is to play the game the right way, play it with the right attitude, and play it with the right character. And obviously, you have to play the game hard. It's a tough game. It's a tough game to play, and you have to fight and battle for everything. And it really hurts as a coach when you see a kid that's out there fighting his tail off and really giving great effort. And an AP student, already got a great qualifying ACT score, high GPA, one of our best character kids on the team, and to see him have to give up a game his senior year because of a judgment situation, it's tough. But again, he's handling it. He's being a great example for his teammates, and he's handling it well, and been really proud of him.
Going into halftime, what did you say in the locker room?
That we needed to continue to get better, that there were a few adjustments that we needed to make, and we tried to go over those adjustments as quickly as we possibly could. But the main thing is we needed to continue to play the game hard. We needed to continue to try our best to limit the mental mistakes, and that, though I did mention that about trying to clean that up, and again, go out and clean it up. And
do you think the second half they did better?
I think so. I think at
as
times,
far as cleaning up
the at times again there are points throughout the game, but at times I think so. And I think this week in particular, I really look for a good game. I look for a good clean game.
Right.
And I'm excited about what's to come, really.
Well, and I think the parents appreciate that you expect this from your team. You're not teaching them bad characteristics that's going to last for a lifetime of cheating and trash talking and things like that. That you expect this good quality from your players.
Well, again, it's just I feel like it's the right thing. I feel like it's the right lesson for the young men to learn. I feel like it's the right way to play the game. I'm a strong believer in our staff. We all have a philosophy that character will show up in difficult situations, and that's how you handle adversity, is with the character piece. So, you can't just have character. Sometimes you've got to make sure that you're taking care of business all the time. So that's a big thing that we're trying to get across. And again, our young men are excellent young men.
Yeah.
They're really, really good kids, and I don't want for the least minute to let on like our kids were that it was team wide and that anything was dirty going on, because that's not what I'm at all. But our philosophy is we can do better, and we can pick up and do better, and I really hope that permeates, and I think it will.
Okay, Coach, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get into the second half. And then we'll talk about the Southern game, all right? We'll be right back at the Jack Burford Chevrolet Studios.
A special thank you to our great sponsors: Jack Burford Chevrolet, State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goebel, Luxury Pets, Express Roofing, we've got you covered, Faith Created, Assembly of God Church, ScenicCabin.com, Equipment, Sales and Rentals, give Sean a call, Tatum Enterprises, Richmond Tourism, WKYT.com, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, First Gear, Pro Signs, Berea Online, and Rosenbaum Communications.
Hi, I'm Samantha Burford with Madison County School Sports Television. We want you to watch the Coach Mark Center Show.
We look forward to seeing you on Madison County School Sports Television.
This program is sponsored by Cumberland Valley National Bank and Trust. Visit their new location in Berea. Madison County School Sports is proud to have Journey Auto and Boat Sales as the official sponsor of the Madison Central Marching Band on MCHS TV.
Oh, there you go. You got time. Go right.
Welcome back to the Coach Mark Center Show. I'm Samantha Burford. We're here at Jack Burford Chevrolet. I want to make sure we thank them because they are our official coach's sponsor. And Mark, we want to thank you for being here as well.
Thank you.
I know you got a busy week, and we're going to get to that because it's a big, important crosstown rivalry, I guess I should say, this coming Friday night, and then it's an away game, so you won't have the home advantage like they did last year, but we will get to that. So let's talk about the second half. I'll let you begin before I start asking.
Well, came out in the second half and did a lot of good things. We're able to put together a couple of scoring drives, and the big thing is really I feel like we played pretty solidly on the defensive side of the football. Did have the game kind of get close there when they scored to close it within, I think, one touchdown, and then
they did.
It was right after that.
Did that make you nervous?
Oh, sure. I mean, it's anytime you see a game where you've had to lead, things start coming back. By all means, it makes you, it ramps up the intensity and things like that. But at the same time, I felt like that we were playing pretty good ball. I felt like that we were moving the ball well offensively and playing pretty good ball defensively, and that again, huge play from special teams, and to answer right back was an enormous game-changing play and put the momentum squarely on our side. When Keenan was able to break the long kickoff return for a touchdown. Jonathan Ty aided that touchdown run in a great way. He was actually on the opposite side of the field and took a great angle and ran the guy who was trailing Keenan and perhaps could have made a play on Keenan, and instead of instead of making a play where he looked for the big hit or the big, highlight film type hit, he just simply moved right in front of him, gave him a nice little screen, just enough of a block to where Keenan could break loose, and that was all he needed to go ahead and go in and score. And again, Keenan showing his outstanding speed there, and Jonathan showing what kind of speed he had coming from the other side of the field. Just a really good play, and you won't see Jonathan Ty's name in the stat book because of that particular play, but he is the reason why Keenan scored that touchdown. Big play.
It's nice that they can work together like that. I mean, they trust each other. They know what's coming.
That's the goal, and he knew he had to get over there. He took the initiative to get over there and make that block and to aid that touchdown.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're talking about playing the game the right way.
Yeah.
Do what is needed to help your brother out. Do what is needed to help get whatever it takes to help get your brother in the teammate in the end zone, and that's exactly what we're looking for.
I do want to talk about Harden as well, because we want to discuss, compare his play this week compared to last week. Last week against Murray, he had 3 interceptions, so I know you were a little upset about that. Maybe I shouldn't say upset. Disappointed. Knew it was going to get better.
Right.
Had to get better.
Well, we certainly knew it was going to get better, and again, I think we talked last week about how, some of those things, a couple of those interceptions really wasn't his fault. It was a situation where trying to make a play at the end of the half, it cost him one, and then again the screenplay, it was just more of a busted play, and he was having to get the ball out of his hands. But this week again, he made pretty good decisions for the large part overall. I think it was something like 9 of 12.
Yep, that's what I have, 9 of 12, 110 yards.
Yep, and then the 1 touchdown to Keenan in the air, and then the 2 touchdowns on the ground. Again, 2 very good decisions. Taking his read, his first read taken away, second read taken away, so he pulls the ball down and runs for the touchdown. So, overall, again, I think perhaps mentioned in the paper that he continues to get more and more comfortable in the offense. He continues to play with more and more poise, and that's what you're looking for in a quarterback. I really am excited, very excited to watch both of our quarterbacks develop. Both of them are doing some fine things.
Presnell being the second quarterback that you're talking about. Right,
and coming out of practice today, I felt both guys did some really good things today. Very pleased with them overall today. We really feel like that both of them can step in at any time, and again, Zach did a really nice job. I feel like his understanding of the offense continues to improve. It's nice watching him absorb that and really learn how to make the right decisions and where to go with things. And it's a lot of maturity to being shown for a sophomore quarterback to especially the 2 plays where he pulled the ball down and ran, running in exactly his forte, but he made the play that he had to make to get the touchdown.
Brought it to 38-14.
Yeah, and really, again, after the momentum swinger with the long kickoff return, that kind of established the game fully in our control, and anytime you can get to that point in the game, it's a good thing.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on going into this Friday night? I know you've been starting with Harden. You're planning on doing that again?
Well, as of this moment, I don't see a change as far as the starting is concerned, but certainly will.
That seems to be the question that we get all the time. Who do you think he's going to start? I know if I'm getting it, you have to be getting it too.
Well, yeah, and not as much now as it was before.
At the beginning of the season.
Right, but again, I don't see us mixing up our starting situation right now. I'm not saying something couldn't change between now and Friday based on game plans and things like that, based on what we've seen. But I feel like that we're in a situation where we can attack defenses with what we feel like attacks that defense best, and if having Cameron in and his skill set is what's best, then that's what we're going to do. As a coach, I'm far less worried about who starts the game, far more worried about who's finishing it.
You're exactly right.
And when the guys who are on the field making plays, no matter what part of the game it is, beginning, middle, or end, the guys who are on the field making plays are kind of the utmost important, and we want to see as many guys as possible out on that field making plays. And we're lucky to have guys that can go out there and make plays like they can.
And we want to remind everybody that Ace Hardware has the tents down there in your end zone. And if you want to rent one of those, it's fantastic. You can ask the Hardens. Like we said, they were right down there in the end zone, got to watch all those touchdowns. It's fantastic. But you do need to get a hold of Central and talk to the athletic director and rent one out because they're pretty cool. We saw them this past weekend.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really nice thing, and the folks had them. I think Tim Grant's taking one for the season, and I think we got a couple more available. I know for homecoming, I think they're perhaps all gone for homecoming. Maybe one more.
You may have to start stacking them up back to back.
They're really going. You know, people seem to be really interested in that, and it is a unique view of the stadium. It's you know, kind of covered down there for with the sun being up early in the night, and just, you know, again, just a unique thing, and it looked like that things worked out well. We had a lot of compliments about it, and more people calling and asking about them. So
that's great.
That's a really good thing.
It is a good thing. And back to your two quarterbacks, you got two great families right there, you know, with the Hardens in the end zone. And I saw Miss Presnell, she was right down there taking pictures, and you've got some great families. So it's just, you know, indicative of the team that you've got. It's fantastic.
We do, and you know, I mentioned earlier about how our kids, we do have such good kids, and that's a direct result of the families that they come from, and you know, getting to see their families get excited for them, and the support that they have for their young men, it's outstanding. It's what makes a high school football team. It's what makes that bond, and you know, we've got, you know, several families that are helping us out with our booster club, and always need more of those. Always need more folks around, but you know, it's so good to see the parents getting behind their young men, and grandparents and aunts and uncles and whomever else. You know, again, and the kids thrive on that. You know, it was a great crowd, and our student section especially were fantastic. And you know, I know a couple of our kids even mentioned that you know, they appreciate it so much that our crowd and our student section and getting behind them and getting loud when they needed them to.
Boy, they were loud.
The success,
and they were glowing with all the paint all over. Those paint wars going on. They were glowing.
Yeah, and again, that's all part of the atmosphere. And the band, you know, the band playing, it thrills me to no end to hear the band start playing that fight song, because that means we've scored.
Yes.
And we want to hear them play the fight song as often as we possibly can on Friday nights.
Yes, you're absolutely. I can agree to that. Now, I do know Coach's show would be complete without talking about a defensive back getting an interception and running it in for a touchdown. How that just makes my day, and I can't imagine that it didn't make his day.
Oh, I'm sure. You know, and Adam is such a good kid, and you know, to see him be able to have that type of success, you know, it means a lot to him. Adam's one of those kids that does the little things well, and we actually, you know, kind of talked as we were talking to the team after the game, you know, kind of pointed it out. You know, Adam's one of those guys that will be in the locker room helping with cleanup duty after everyone else is gone. And
most people don't want to do that.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that'll, you know, pick up something for a teammate to make sure that it's not lost, or, you know,
so
just
how
the little
special
things.
is this touchdown then?
Absolutely.
Well deserved.
Yeah, and to see a young man like that get rewarded with making the play that really iced the game for us there at the end. Just awesome to see a kid get a chance to make
40
a play like
yards.
that.
My note said.
Yeah, and once he got the ball in his hands, he knew what to do with it.
He
didn't
did not
slow down.
stop.
He was ready to go. And of course, you know, seeing that convoy of teammates lead blocking for him as he went in the end zone was very special for him, I'm sure, and great for us as coaches to see.
Well, he seems like a good kid, so now we just got to make sure that it just keeps happening, because it's thrilling when they get to score on defense. You don't expect that very often, and so when it happens, it makes us, especially the fans, you know, they love it.
Well, and that's one of our goals. You know, that's one of the things that you know, we give out the Tomahawk stickers for big plays and
on their helmets,
reaching certain goals, and that's one of our goals is to score on defense. So. You know, it's that's a big momentum swinger when you get a chance to get a defensive score, and certainly we hope to have many more.
Yeah. Now let's talk about, you mentioned in the press that you're trying to spread out the ball a little more, giving it to more individuals than maybe in the past. So tell us your thoughts on that, trying to get it in more hands.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a ton of kids that can make plays. I mean, we've got, you know, 6 or 7 deep at the wide receiver spot. We've got 4 or 5 guys at the running back spot that we feel like can carry the ball and do really well. Once we get healthy, 3 to 4 guys at the slot position that we feel like can help us out with carrying the ball. And our H-backs, Jared and Brandon and Billy, a couple of those guys. We've got guys that can make plays all over the field, and we feel like the diversity that creates and the ability to spread the ball out in as many people's hands as we can to make plays will hopefully make us a much harder team to defend. But certainly it makes it more fun for the guys. Everybody likes seeing when if you've got a guy who's really good and you got to put the ball in his hands. And the neat thing for us is we feel like we've got a lot of guys who are really good, and them get an opportunity to carry the football and see what they can do with it. Again, we try to put a little pressure on them. We tell them, you may not see it a bunch, so when you see it, you better do something with it. And it's nice to see all these kids rise to the challenge when they get an opportunity to do something with it.
Now, last week, we got some Twitter questions, and this week we got more Twitter questions, and one of them was they wanted you to follow up a little more on the question about your weight training program, your weight room.
Okay. As far as in-season lifting, we've got our kids lifting on a normal week. This week a little bit different, where we had the day off from school and had a little bit of an alternate schedule. But we're lifting 4 days a week, trying to hit a different body part each day, and just really trying to make sure that we're continuing, because we're such a young team. A lot of our kids can really benefit from. A lot of football teams will try to maintenance lift during the season and try to just maintain where they're at and maintain the strength that they're at and the health, and not really push hard trying to get stronger per se during the season. But we're pretty much staying on a typical weightlifting routine, trying to continue to get stronger, because again, so many of our kids are in that young early high school stage that their bodies are developing, and they really have a chance to get stronger during the season. And then we'll give them a few weeks off at Christmas, and hopefully that's after a very deep playoff run, and get everything lined up, and then we'll give them a few weeks off there at Christmas. And then when we come back in spring, we'll start we split our springtime, our off season, up into phases, and phase 1 being the longest, and that'll be the work that leads up from January on up to about mid spring term. We usually try to get to a weightlifting competition somewhere. It's been North Laurel holds a really nice weightlifting competition, and we usually try to get down there when they have their event in the spring.
Okay, I did not know all this.
Yeah, it usually times up really well with the end of our first cycle, and it's kind of like an opportunity for the kids to compete in the spring. It gives them a target to look forward to. There are some days, early in the process when the weightlifting's first starting, everybody's excited and ready to get in there, and then after you've been in there about a month, it gets a little bit harder, and coach barking at you and chewing on your ear, and it's a little bit, but it gives them a target to work for, and it gives them something measurable that they can see. And so
and they get busier and busier too with
absolutely.
School, and you get in deeper into the football season.
That's right.
It's more demanding of their time.
Absolutely, and that's again with our advanced PE class and strength and conditioning class, that's very important to the overall process, and being able to take that time so that we can focus on practice after school, and tonight is a great example. A ton of kids need to go to church, a couple kids need to go to work. Wednesday is an extended work day for us to begin with as far as a practice schedule standpoint goes.
Okay.
We wouldn't have been able to lift today, but out of roughly out of 72 guys on our roster, roughly 65 of them got to lift today because of that advanced weightlifting class that they're able to take throughout the day
at school.
At school, and it's really an important part of the overall. And it's not only for athletes, but all the kids who are in that class are benefiting. But certainly, our kids who are playing football, our kids who are preparing themselves for the basketball season coming up, there are kids that are preparing themselves for the baseball season coming up, and believe there's a girls section of it as well in the middle of the day. So, you know, there's a lot of benefit that comes with that for all the sports, not just football. But, you know, obviously I'm kind of more concerned about the football side of it, and you know,
Exactly.
and it's important. You know, our kids, you know, most all the kids on our varsity roster got a chance to lift today, and you know, on a day where, you know, if you had to worry about getting that in before practice or after practice, it would have really lengthened the day. So.
Exactly. They wouldn't have been able to have done all the other things that were expected of them.
Right.
Well, let's move right into, many people are excited in our community. It is the crosstown rivalry between Southern and Central.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a fun matchup. I mean, it's
Oh,
usually
yeah.
pretty clean and healthy. Maybe some of the students that don't play the sport are trash talking on Twitter and such. But we do have the can. What's the proper term? The kids are supposed to bring in the cans of
Cans for
ravioli.
kids.
Cans for kids. Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Cans for kids. Bring in chicken noodle soup or ravioli. So it's a big contest between Central and Southern this week.
Right.
So bring those cans in because it's important.
Absolutely. You know, and it's a great community outreach. You know, we're trying to get our players behind it. We want to get all of our everyone at school behind it. You know, if we could get all the students and all the teachers and all the faculty and everyone
Yeah.
to bring in a couple of cans, we'd be way up over 4,000 just there alone. And you know,
Such a good cause.
It is. Our Madison County Backpack program will be the beneficiaries of it, and ultimately kids will be the beneficiaries of it, and that's the main thing. It's something that we're doing to try to help kids and to try to help families in need. And you know, again, we've kind of had a theme on this show about doing things the right way. And you know, we talk about our kids all the time, do the right thing the right way at the right time, and this is certainly one of those things. You know, we have to outreach. We have to take care of one another, and there are people in need that really benefit from this, and you know, it's kids who are benefiting from this, and that's what's awesome. You know, when little kids can benefit from it, and you know, I mean, heck, the little kid may never know it, but wouldn't it be cool if a football player brought in 15 cans of chicken noodle soup,
Right.
and then one of these days the kid that gets that comes up and plays football for Central.
It would be.
And that to me is exciting.
Yes, yes. I completely agree. And let's just hope that everybody does it, even if you bring in one can.
Absolutely.
You know, and you don't have to drop it off with your student. If you're a
Yeah.
parent and the student forgets to bring it in, drop it off yourself.
There's a large can donation area at Mr. Fritz's office over in the health building. There's another one up front in the front of the school, and certainly if you know, just bring it to the front office, we'll get it to where it needs to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about the game. Everybody's really excited. It's going to be a fun game.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, they're there to see some great football. It's going to be great football, but as you know, they've got the star, Damian Harris. What are your thoughts on how you're going to try to control and contain him?
Well, I mean, he's an outstanding player and certainly worthy of all the accolades that he has. They're more than just a one-man show. I've been really impressed with 22. The Dean kid, he's a very nice football player and a great compliment. You know, they've got the series where they have both of them in the backfield at the same time and use one to kind of fake off the other one. And it's you know, it's pretty effective when the number one running back in the country is your decoy. So that's that's kind of
Yeah.
that makes it a very difficult package to defend.
Yeah, Dean's been scoring the first touchdown of their game.
He
So,
has, and if I remember right from looking at the stats, he's actually their leading scorer right now. So, you know, I think it's by a couple points. Maybe he's got a conversion, but you know, I mean, those guys were very well coached. We, I guess, the first time we faced Coach Clark was in 2011, and his staff, and you know, they've been doing a really good job since they got to Madison Southern. I'm guessing that 2011 was his first year. I'm not positive about
yeah, this
that,
is his
but-
fourth year, I believe, is when we interviewed him. That's what he said.
Yeah, and you know, those guys have been doing a great job down there. They've got the program certainly not only headed in the right direction, but at a high point, and you know, a lot of that credit goes to the work that they've done with the young men, and certainly having talented football players has gone a long way in that as well. But you know, you mentioned kind of containing, you know, Harris. that's obviously going to be a major task. It's been a major challenge for anybody that's faced him over the course of the years, and so you know, we'll definitely have to try to contain both of those young men from a defensive perspective, and hopefully we can get some things going on offense as well, and you know, attack them from an offensive perspective as well, because it's going to take a total game. It's going to take a well played game in all three phases, offense, defense, and special teams, to be able to come away with a win on Friday night.
Now, they have some good fan support, so we've got to make sure that the Central fans follow.
Yeah. They've
got to come. It's what, 10-minute drive.
Yeah, I mean,
they can make it.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be one of those deals where pretty much everybody in the county's down at the game.
It should be.
And you know, we feel like that should be the case always. We've got our contracts set in stone now for all signed contracts for the 15 and 16 schedules. And our game will be actually week 10 coming up in the 15 and 16 schedules, which will be an awesome way to end the season. We're pretty excited about that because I think it benefits both schools greatly. You know, sometimes later in the season it's hard to find a game for that week 10 area going into the playoffs. It's tough to find just the right opponent, but when, you know, it just makes a ton of sense, I think, for us, for Central and Southern to meet up in that week 10. So we're excited about that going forward, and next year we'll get to host, and we hope that it's an overflow crowd at our stadium as well. Right. And both schools benefit too. You know, I'm sure that all the clubs and different activities are going to be looking forward to Friday night and hope to benefit.
Between the cheerleaders and the bands and the dance teams, it's lots of parents. Not only just the football parents, you know, it's going to be a lot of, and all the superintendents and all the principals, they're all going to be there too. It's going to be a fun time.
Certainly a Madison County event.
It will be,
and that'll be a great thing. And you know, we look forward to putting a good show on the field. And you know, the great thing about it is, and I've mentioned this a couple times before, and you know, it needs to be a strong rivalry. This game needs to happen year in and year out.
We're in a big enough community to be able to do that.
Absolutely. You know, you look at the other counties that are our size. You know, even especially those that have two schools in, they always play each other and things like that. And I'm glad that the two schools were able to work it out, because you know, for years it didn't happen. I was an assistant in 2007, which was the second game that Central and Southern had ever played in football, and then the series kind of went dormant again for a couple years. And glad to see that it's back, and I think it's super important for both schools to play and to keep this tradition going and keep this game going. I think it's great again for both schools. And the nice thing is that we can make this a good, healthy rivalry.
You're right.
It's neither of our district championship hopes are riding on this game. Neither of our region championships are riding on this game. Playoffs, you know, all of that. We clearly want to win. I guarantee you they want to win. I promise you, I assure you, we want to win this football game.
Right.
But at the same time, it's going to be nice that we can go out there and play our hearts out on Friday night, and when we walk off the field, we can shake hands and hopefully in some ways pull for each other the rest of the year.
You're exactly right, and I know both coaches, so I think he would want the same thing for you guys. So now, I know you have stats for us, and that's really exciting, and we want to get to that because you've said you just put all this in today, and it's incredible, the stats, because it's not only fun, but it's important, because these guys want to know their stats.
Sure, yeah.
We probably run your battery down.
That's okay.
Leaving it up on there this whole second time.
Yeah, this phone, the battery runs quickly.
We don't get any glasses.
Yeah, I'm good. We've got, Corian Cryer is our leading rusher at the moment. He's had 18 carries for 108 yards on the season and a touchdown. Johan is right behind him. He's had 19 carries for 78 yards. Zach is 16 of 27 on the year for 217 yards. He had 2 touchdowns and the 4 interceptions, but averaging 109 a game. Then Cameron 1 for 2 with 17 on the season. And then receiving, you know, the real exciting thing we've had from rushing the ball, we've had 9 different guys carry the football so far this year, and then receiving, we've got 10 different guys that have caught a ball so far this year. And it's very spread out. Jared Grant leads us with 3 receptions. He and Keenan Miller both have 3 receptions apiece. and then a bunch of guys with 2 and 1, and so. You know, that's pretty exciting seeing them the ball spread out. That's what we're going for. We want to get the ball in as many people's hands as we can, and you know, again, the stats show that we've got guys all over that are capable of making plays, and I feel like that makes us a much more dangerous team. And of course, then you know, defensively, Adam with the interception, and we've got Jabari and Jared with a fumble recovery each, and it looks like that our leading tacklers so far on the year are Cheeks Robinson and Cameron Davis with 12, and Corion with 10, and a bunch of guys with 8 or 9. So you know, that kind of gives us a rundown on those stats for this point in the season up to this point, and you know, hopefully if we are blessed to do so, hopefully, you know, those stats will
keep increasing.
Hopefully this Friday night a lot of guys will put more stats on the board.
Exactly. Now, if you at home could only have seen how small that was, I don't know how he read that. But you probably probably know a lot of it right up there, so it was small print.
Yeah, some of it I just kind of got, making out the shapes. I was able to see it.
Yeah. Well, Coach, I'm going to say it again because I said it last week. I'm looking for that anticipated win, and I did this. I'm a traditionalist, and I'm hoping this brings you good luck, just like it did this past Friday night. Okay.
We'll
I'm
gonna
do it every week, okay?
That's great. That's fine with me.
Maybe I'm superstitious. I don't know what it is.
That's okay. We'll take it all.
Take it whatever you can get.
Yeah. Mom used to get on to me for being far too superstitious. We won't go into those stories. They're pretty bad.
That might be good for the end of the year.
Yeah.
Our closing out session.
Yeah, play the game as hard as we can, and try to do things the right way, and let the good Lord settle everything else. It'll be all right. We're looking forward to Friday night.
Good. Coach, thank you for joining us. It's always a pleasure. We love having you in our studio, and we look forward to, we won't see you next week, but I believe it'll be the week after, because we only host these shows on your home games the week following. So we'll do it 2 weeks from now.
Sounds good. We'll talk about Madison Southern and Scott County, and hopefully talking about a couple of wins, and just really looking forward to everybody coming out Friday night, excited for our kids. I know our kids are looking forward to this, and excited to see our kids get an opportunity to put it on the field again.
All right, Coach, congratulations last week on your win, and good luck this Friday night against Southern.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for watching the Coach Mark Center Show. I'm Samantha Burford. Hi, I'm Samantha Burford with Madison County School Sports Television. We want you to watch the Coach Mark Center Show.
We look forward to seeing you on Madison County School Sports Television.
Okay, that's it.
A special thank you to our great sponsors: Jack Burford Chevrolet, State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goebel, Luxury Pets, Express Roofing, we've got you covered, Faith Created, Assembly of God Church, ScenicCabin.com, Equipment, Sales and Rentals, give Sean a call, Tatum Enterprises, Richmond Tourism, WKYT.com, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, First Gear, Pro Signs, Berea Online, and Rosenbaum Communications. Madison County School Sports is proud to have Journey Auto and Boat Sales as the official sponsor of the Madison Central Marching Band on MCHS TV. This program is sponsored by Cumberland Valley National Bank and Trust. Visit their new location in Berea.
Hey everyone, my name's Alex, and I want you to watch MadisonCountySchoolSports.com.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County School Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter, or like us on Facebook, MCS TV, and of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube.
Hey everyone, my name's Alex, and I want you to watch MadisonCountySchoolSports.com.